And welcome to another Round the Rotary podcast with me, your host, JP Warren. And thank you for everyone tuning in today. And wherever you're listening from, if after the show, if you'd like to leave a review and comments and everything like that, is greatly appreciated. You can find Round the Rotary on YouTube, Instagram, round_the_rotary _JP Warren on Instagram. And sign up. We got a lot of stuff behind the scenes and also just kind of day-to-day life of Round the Rotary podcast. But before we begin, I got to say that Round the Rotary podcast is brought to you by Capital Petroleum Consultants. CPC specialize in project engineering and well site supervision in all disciplines of the oil and gas industry. Contact us through www.capitalpetroleumconsultants.com to see what CPC can do for you today.
Dude.
What do you think?
I feel like it gets better every single time I hear it.
It's the podcast voice.
It's podcast voice.
You got
so good.
You got to bring it in. Talk about this. I'm very interested.
Yeah,
it's that movie preview announcer voice right there.
Oh yeah. I like to do it in Spanish. It's like sábado, 24/6 television Unimundo.
Hola.
No, it's great, man. No, super excited to be here. Can't thank you enough for having me. Just wanted to come by, check out the place, man. It's so nice. This is so nice.
Well, you know what, though? I'm glad that you are excited. And for those of you that are listening, and we haven't even introduced the guest today, which is great right now. Right now, this is I'm sure people that know this gentleman actually can identify the voice, but this is Bryson Varner. Varner?
Yes,
is that
sir.
Correct? Varner?
Yes, sir. V is in Victor. I get so sick of saying that.
I think if you were in Louis, it'd be Varner or something like that. He's the accounts manager and technical sales at Cathedral Energy Services, and you just came in from Oklahoma.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yeah. Nope. Just running around trying to burn up the highways and
it was just for this podcast, right? You didn't see any of your frustumers or anything like that?
Oh, no. And that was what I was going to ask you, too, on the frustumer thing, just to clarify. I always thought those were customers you were frustrated at.
No, those are just called customers.
Those are just called customers. There you go. Yeah.
No, frustumers is one of those things where it's like, when you're shooting the bull with someone, you're like, oh yeah, he's a customer, but he's a friend. It's frustumer. It's that. Shorten the words, I
get it.
Yeah,
like when you're talking about
let's get lazier. Let's get lazier. Let's just combine two words.
Oh, yeah. No, it's like you're always talking about one of your customers, but it's like, dude, he's not a customer. It's like, it's an actual friend.
He's a friend, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Always tell people I should have expensed my daughter's birthday party 2 years ago because like 90% of it was my frustumers.
There you go.
So, man, first off, thanks for coming to the show, man. Thanks for taking the trip down from Oklahoma to here. So where in Oklahoma are you at?
Live in a small town kind of south of Oklahoma City. It's called Blanchard.
Okay.
We've been out there for a little bit and just super excited about it, man.
So you came on in. Is this your first podcast you've done?
This is the first podcast I've ever been a part of. Yes,
I've seen your stuff and it's hilarious. For those that are on LinkedIn, you got to go check out some of the videos, and we're going to get into that later. We're not going to get into that now. We'll get into that later in the podcast and kind of, I guess, where the idea came from and kind of where you get your wide array of funny, original videos and clips that you've been posting, it's such a great, quick, like 15 to 30 second little commercials that you've been doing. And you're really kind of taking apart, kind of like bringing in your own individual lifestyle into, which is hilarious, by the way. No. So we're going to get into that in a little bit, but you made the trip down here. You've been doing a lot of traveling lately?
A little bit of traveling, primarily just there in Oklahoma City. Spent my whole life in the mid-con, just working the rigs out in that direction, and it's born and raised.
You second generation oil field?
No. So I grew up in a small town, Pauls Valley, Oklahoma. So my dad, he was an optometrist and big angler. So he drew a circle around Lake Texoma with what he thought would be decent driving distance to go striper fishing.
Okay.
And so he was going to start his practice in a small little town, and he picked Pauls Valley. So it's like, dude, it was like Bubba Gump Shrimp Company, man, with like striper tacos and striper soup and striper salad and striper jerky. And it's like, so anyways, but that's...
Wait a minute, where was all this striper stuff at?
Well, no, he was just a fisherman.
And so, he would just, everything
every single Wednesday he would take it. And I mean, it was all we ate. Big health nuts, all that thing. Yeah, so it was good. But
so let's get back to, so grew up there. Your dad was an optometrist and an angler.
Yeah.
All right.
And worked a bunch of different little odd jobs, picking pecans, mowing grass, I think I had a little gig there making 5 cents a bale, helping my buddy's dad, haul hay. And
So growing up, you just had all these random odd jobs. What was your least favorite one?
I would say probably hauling hay for a nickel a bale. You get to counting your money and you're like, holy crap, dude, I worked like 10 hours and I made like $14. Like, come on. And it's not like I was ever on the truck, right? Like I'm walking beside actually chunking it up there. But
Yeah, you're doing the work.
oh, yeah. So, no, it's kind of funny. My dad, he comes to the house one day, and I was kind of doing little odd jobs things, but just your normal lazy kid wanting to play Nintendo and stuff. And
I'm still like
he
that.
said, yeah, oh, yeah. But he's like, hey, man, you need to get a job. I was like, okay, yeah, no problem, Pops, man. I'll get a job. And anyways, I go about 2 weeks, and don't do anything. And he comes back in, and he's like, hey, man, I found a job for you. I was like, that's great. What are we doing? He said, you are going to be on a shrimp boat out of Galveston if you don't find something between, now and then. And I was like, oh, crap, man. So I got her together and ended up getting a full-time farmhand job, picking corn.
Okay.
So that was exciting. That was fun. Not really.
Well, corn is usually the best. It's the best listeners.
There you go.
Dad jokes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. But yeah, man, there were like spiders the size of birds in there. And dude, it's just crazy. It was a great experience. Built a lot of character. Also used to ump a few baseball games on the side,
Okay.
Which includes one of my most embarrassing moments.
Okay, go on.
There you
Tell
go.
us about that.
So,
What was the embarrassing moment?
Dude, me and my buddy, we're like, yeah, we'll ump these ball games, man. We want to just be as professional as possible. So we got the
And
nice...
how old are you about this time?
Okay, well, this is when I am a senior in high school
Okay,
or
17,
junior in high
18.
school.
Okay.
And we worked our way up. We started with the little bitty kids, and we were doing such a great job. We worked all the way up to, these kids are like 14 years old, and so we go to school with some of their siblings, things like that. So it's a smaller town. Everybody knows everybody, like 9,000 people. But man, I'm behind home plate. And I've got the shin guards, and I've got the nice slacks, and
Get the little counter
oh
right there.
yeah, the counter and everything. And man, I bend over and completely split my pants. So the problem is, I was wearing a jock with a cup, and so there is nothing between me and the crowd.
That's it.
Yeah, my milk dud and air. Like, it was so horrible.
Oh, God.
But and it was a deal. So I had to swap with my buddy, and I go to the outfield, and of course I know these kids are like, nice run, bump, just horrible stuff. But yeah, so I've worked a ton of different little jobs, all the way up. Ended up at college there at OU.
Okay.
I was debating on trying to be either a ski bum, going out to I think I applied at 2 colleges. Applied at Adams State in Alamosa, and
Okay.
then OU.
Okay.
So
What's interesting? It's like your dad's an angler living in Oklahoma. You want to be a ski bum living in Oklahoma. I don't feel like the mountain ranges of Oklahoma. I mean, I may be wrong. I've only been there for maybe 30 seconds when my buddy, my frustomer, he goes, "You never been to Oklahoma?" He drove across the line. He's like, "This is it," and turned back around. So that's kind of it.
yeah, well, I mean, we were just fortunate. We grew up with a ton of good friends, and just going with the youth groups and different deals.
Yeah.
We'd go skiing. I had the same group of guys, and we'd go all the time. Anytime we'd even get like a 3-day weekend, we'd run up there and
Run up where?
well, just to Colorado.
Really?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. We'd drive up on that Friday and try to ski the next day, and then drive home, make it
Okay.
back for school, and so no, it was awesome. But I had a good group of friends, and my parents always let me, try to get as many experiences as possible. And but yeah, it's funny. Like, my dad and I, we started snowboarding right when the snowboards came out. Like it was only
Burton?
curved.
Burton.
Oh, yeah.
You got the Burton apparel.
Oh yeah. But it was like the board was only curved on one side, and of course we're wearing our Levi jeans that are all with the Scotch guard on them. And but anyway, so no, we've just been super fortunate to get as many opportunities as I have. My parents have always encouraged stepping outside of your comfort zone, doing your deal. So.
I think that's so important to step outside of your comfort zone. I mean, I think whether it's going to college, or whether it's taking a trip, or whether it's taking a new role that's you're not comfortable with. I think it's so crucial get out of that your bubble of comfort, because that's kind of when you're going to get more experiences, meet new people, and kind of get a different perspective on life, which is to me it's beneficial.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely, and I preach it to my kids all the time. Of course, my kids are so different, man. Like, my son, I got to push him a little bit, to get outside his comfort zone. My little girl, she is Dude, she's hysterical.
So what are the ages?
So my son, he is 15 and a half. And,
Just got his permit.
Oh, yeah, got his driver's permit.
Is that weird for you?
Dude, like taking a kid and dropping him off at high school is one of the weirdest experiences ever.
Because it doesn't feel like it was that long ago.
Oh, no, dude, and it goes so quick. I heard a guy, he was talking about, you think about your kids, and he said, so the average person lives to be like 85 years old, right? So he took a roll of toilet paper and he counted out 85 little sheets and he had it all spread across the room. And he said, but you only get your kids for 18 years. So tear that off, slide that to the side, and it's like you got this little, section. He's like, well, but until they're like 4 years old, they don't really even know they got hands, and you might get some smiles or here, but, let's tear off those first three. And it's like, well, and then they go to high school and, they want to spend their time with their buddies and their friends, the last 3 years. So tear that off. And it's like, dude, out of your entire life, like you really only get this small section at a time.
5 to 12 or 5 to 13 was the bond. And actually, I just had a conversation with Cody Peterson, the dude with the T-top Trans Am that you just met. And it's one of those things, like he's got a teenage daughter as well. And it's like, I have a 7-year-old, and it's one of those things where it's like you're looking at that and it's like, God, like, oh, we have 18 years, but you really don't. Because if I remember growing up, I was always at my buddy's house, 12 years old, 13 years old. That's when you start doing sleepovers. You spend all weekend at your buddy's. So it's like, we don't have much longer with her. You know what I mean? But you got to respect that. It's their own life. It's the kid's own life,
Yeah, and it's been so fun. So we've been doing a thing with my son, too. We're trying to get him to all 50 states before he graduates high school.
How many states you got down?
Man, we only need like 23 more. So, of course, we hadn't been to Hawaii or Alaska. So those are kind of on the list.
Do you have one of those little quarter maps?
He's actually got one from when he was a little kid, and he like colors the little state.
Yeah, okay.
So, but we've had a lot of fun just kind of doing that. And it's like, hey, just because we've been in Oklahoma our entire lives, grown up here, like, dude, you can do anything you want to, and you can do it anywhere you want to.
Right.
So
right.
It's been a really cool kind of experience.
And then how old is your daughter?
She is 12.
Okay.
So
yeah. So you got one more year.
Oh yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Dude, she is so funny though. It's like if David Spade, had a kid with Chris Farley, like she is it, dude. She is hysterical.
I love it when I think all my daughter does is mess with me. You know what I mean? Like for Christmas, like she's like, "Hey, Daddy, I made this for you." It was like this little box, and I'm like, "Oh," she's like, "It's really important to me. I want you to open it." And I was like, "Okay, yeah, sure." And I sit down and I open the box, and it's a box of plastic cockroaches. She's like, "Got you.
I got you.
You're scared of cockroaches, Dad. Remember when you dropped me as a baby because of cockroaches?" I was like, "Yeah, it wasn't funny at the time." And she's like laughing like her ass off about that. Like it's funny how like now it's like they kind of their personalities. I'm guessing your daughter's kind of like you a little bit, like the outgoing, the personality. Yeah. It's cool seeing them kind of develop their own little comedic routine.
Oh yeah,
even if it's at your expense.
Oh yeah. And my son, he's just like my wife, a little more laid back and reserved, and a little less of a risk taker.
Yep.
And super good dude though, man. Like he is so sharp. I'm just so proud of him. But yeah, like my little girl, she found a snake skin in the yard, like a good size one. So she, had to hide it under her brother's bed, to scare him. And no, it's so much fun around our house. We play scare games where you're always like hiding out and scaring each other. And
it's funny. Dude, we do this. Actually, it's funny too. We do that too. And like every time we have our daughters, like I'll go to my bed and I'll pick up like the sheets and all something. There's like this little frog. You know what I mean? Like scare me. I'm like, God, Evelyn, good work.
Yeah,
good work. I'm proud
nice
of you.
Job.
I'm proud of you.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure my kids are the only ones that know how to like short sheet beds and all that stuff. Like we have a good time. But so no, like grew up in Pauls Valley, which is also home of the Okie Noodling Festival.
Well, everyone knows that.
Which is the absolute worst thing that happened to noodlers across America. Like now everybody wants to be a noodler, so...
Okay, I've never discussed noodling on this show. Let's get into this right now. Let's dive into it. Right. So pretty much you feel that the sport has been somehow polluted? By the Noodle Fest?
Everybody wants to become a noodler now.
Why?
It just got over commercialized. It used to be something that nobody talked about, and you had your little holes, and people take those holes to their death. Like you will not tell.
I'm assuming you've noodled
I am
before.
not a professional. I have caught fish. I have been bit. I've taken frustumers, but like. Yeah, so I think the biggest fish I've ever got is like about 10 pounds. Like I've never caught like one of those 60-pounders.
That is absolutely, I don't know why, but that is absolutely terrifying to me to like stick your hand in murky water in a hole. Like I don't know why. Like it's like even lake swimming, I get like, I think it's like too many like 80s like horror movies, I think.
No, it's like the most exciting thing, right? You're underwater, you can't breathe, you're in a log jam or, something like that. And I don't do...
And you can't see.
You can't see, you can't breathe, you're sticking your arm, somewhere you got no idea what's in there, which you can kind of tell, right? So if a catfish is coming in and out, it'll be kind of smooth. And like if the hole starts going up, well, then that's when you get out, right? Like, so that means there's air up there. You got snakes, beavers, turtles.
That's literally like a nightmare.
Oh, dude.
To me.
To me. Oh, well, I can't wait to take you.
So, okay, sure. We'll do one of your videos up there. So pretty much the purity of noodling has kind of becoming a little dirty right now.
Yeah. Well, and it's just like with the COVID deal, and everybody wanted to go out and be a fisherman, like you couldn't find any hooks or line or anything.
Yeah.
And but no, it's been great for Paul's Valley for sure.
So that's where the Noodling Fest is.
Oh yeah.
Stay away though. Don't mess up the sport anymore.
Oh yeah. No, and my sister, I think one of her aspirations is to become noodling queen someday. So.
Really?
Oh yeah, there's real opportunities out there for everybody. Fun for the whole family.
That just gives me so much anxiety. To do that.
See, and then my wife, she's from Wynnewood, which is just down the road. So there you got Tiger King. So I mean, it's a whole fun little area.
So did you know about Tiger King before COVID?
So I knew about Tiger King before COVID, but I'd never been out to the actual, animal sanctuary.
Well, yeah, but you knew about it though.
Oh yeah. And I had a buddy that he worked over at Seth Wadley, so if we need to get some ball caps or whatever, like we can make that happen. I figure Halloween's rolling around, so.
Isn't that crazy? The whole world shuts down and we all just like gravitate towards Joe Exotic.
Oh yeah.
Like
no,
the entire
crazy,
world, and
man.
that's all everyone focused on.
Oh yeah.
Tiger King.
Oh yeah. No, it's But no, it's such a great place, man. Paul's Valley and Wynnewood. We always used to say Winnie would if Winnie could, but Winnie can't, so Winnie ain't. So
Winnie would always.
Oh yeah.
Good.
So my wife and I, we went on our first date in like 6th grade because I was from Paul's Valley, she was from Wynnewood, like 7
met your
miles
wife
apart.
in middle school?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then it was off and on, all through college. She went to OSU and I went to OU, and she was a year younger than me, and. So anyways, but yeah, we've been married for 17 years.
Wow.
And it's great, man. I could never do better. Like I cannot screw it up. So
Where was the first date 6th grade at?
it was the Paul's Valley Royal Theater.
Okay.
Yeah.
Movie?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What movie?
I'm pretty sure it was Beauty and the Beast, and I cried, the cartoon version. I feel like that was it. So
Wait, before he changed.
Oh yeah. Well, when they thought he died, dude. Like how can you not cry at that?
And then you just lifted up and changed.
Dude,
yeah.
you can't cry at that. You ain't got a heart, man. You got a gizzard.
Yeah, that's right.
Dude.
Plus, you turn on the waterworks 6th grade a little bit, look a little sensitive, like, hey, I want to be married for 17 years.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But then went to OU and worked a bunch of different jobs. I will say the favorite job that I ever had was working at Camp Champions, which was actually here at Marble Falls.
I went to Camp Champions
Did
one
you
summer.
really?
Yes, I was a Trojan.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So I taught the water skiing. I taught Micah and Lucas Nelson, Willie Nelson's kids, how to slalom.
Serious?
Yep. They will never remember me. And
Well, they're listeners. I'm sure they do.
Oh yeah. Oh no, there's nobody listening. But yeah, so that was like the greatest experience. Like made 100% zero money, but like got your room and your board and your whole summer paid for. Like dude, it was awesome.
I remember the champs that were there.
Oh yeah.
So me and my buddy, we it was like during the time like Goodfellas, when Goodfellas came out. So we always thought we were like mafia. And I remember during the quiet time in the afternoon, we would start a gambling thing in our cabin, where we would play either war or poker or something like that. And we'd take the chips and all. So I finally got to the point where people were like, the guys had no chips and like, you need at least 5, you know what I mean? I think it was a self-esteem thing. It's like, hey, you can't take all the chips. You know what I mean? So eventually they're like, all right, guys, no more gambling at Camp Champions.
Yeah.
We're like, all right, we got busted by the cops, the
There you go.
feds.
Oh yeah. No, we used to have so much fun, like get the kids fired up before all the games, and I think I even swallowed a goldfish, just trying to get kids pumped up and everybody paint their faces.
It was Trojans for Spartans, right?
Man,
that was it. That was it.
And then I'm sure that is.
That was it.
And it was about the time when the new Star Wars came out, so like we all painted up like Darth Maul and that whole deal. So
Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's horrible.
There's theory that he is like one of the main Jedis or something like that, or the Siths or whatever like that.
Yeah.
So you studied marketing at. What brought you to that? I mean, it was such a great experience, I guess. Working outdoors and agriculture and all that stuff. Why'd you pursue marketing?
Yeah, I've just never known what I wanted to do in my entire life.
I still don't.
Oh no, me neither. And one of these days we'll figure it out, and it's going to be great.
Maybe.
But yeah, so my dad, he was really pushing towards like construction science and things like that. And man, I had this architecture class with the dean of architecture, and man, there's like 250 kids in there, and you shut off the lights and just start going through slides, and I just absolutely hated it. And so I was talking to my buddies, and they're like, "Well, I think I'm going to do business." And I was like, "Oh yeah, that sounds great, man. I'll do business." And it's like, "Well, what is business?" It's like, "Well, you can do accounting." And it's like, "Oh man, that's horrible, man. That sounds bad." And you can do finance. It's like, oh, dude, man, I don't want to do that.
Sounds about the same thing.
Yeah. And it's like, or management. It's like, man, I don't really know that I should be responsible for anybody. And then it was like, well, marketing. It's like, oh, yeah, man, that sounds good. I'll do that. So.
That's just marketing, because that's where like the most girls were at. And I was in college, like, yeah, I'll do marketing. Yeah, I'm not a numbers guy. I'm not an accountant or finance. I'll do the marketing.
Oh, yeah. So, but no, and it was fun, man. It was great. And then I got a job there at the athletic department with the student athletes. Like, started off as a note taker. I was like, man, I can go to class and take notes and get paid for it. It's like, dude, I'm already going to class. And so then that just kind of gradually rolled, into becoming a study hall monitor. And then I was over all those guys and the student athletes. And so that's when I kind of realized that I wanted to go to the oil field. I had a friend, and we went to his house, and he lifts up the garage door, and there's a bass boat, and there's 2 sets of golf clubs. And I was like, what's your dad do? And he's like, man, he's a sales guy in the oil field. And I said, I want to be a sales guy in the oil field. So anyways, I was still working at the athletic department, and it was kind of getting to the point where I needed to graduate or do something. So I had an interview. This gentleman, he told me to contact a guy over at Baker Hughes and over at Intech, and he said, call him up and tell him you're looking for a trainee position. I said, trainee? Okay, yeah, man. So I call this guy, and of course he's rough and gruff. And I was like, yes, sir, my name's Bryson Varner, and I'm looking for a trainee position. He said, trainee, MWD? I said, yes, sir. And he's like,
you had no idea what
no idea, dude.
I know.
I had no idea. But anyway, so I went to the interview, and they were like, oh, dude, you can make $100,000. And I was like, $100,000? Man, I'm making $9 an hour.
Yeah, like 21, 22.
Oh,
like,
yeah. What?
Yeah.
What? It's like, dude, yeah. And at that time, it's like, if I could just make $30,000, man, I could make it like,
Oh, yeah.
So, it was crazy. But so I had the interview, and then I didn't hear anything for months. And so I decided at that point, it's like, well, I'll just kind of keep getting my master's in intercollegiate athletic administration. Like, I really enjoyed being around the student athletes and, some of that stuff. But then I finally got the call and went and ran MWD. So it was like I could make $9 an hour or, $100,000. And it happened the day before I started my master's class. I went and sold my books, and that was it.
So what was your, initial, feeling, when it was one of those things where you actually got the call and you're going out there, the MWD field service engineer, if you will. Was that the first job?
Yeah. Well, and we started in the shop. So I was one of 12 MWD hands at Baker Hughes in the Mid-Continent at that time. So this is like 2003, like right when things are just really starting to pick up. And so I worked in the shop for a couple months, just putting tools together, building batteries, doing all that.
But you had no idea about this previously.
No,
No,
no
idea.
I
guess what was going on, it was like, okay, I'm going to do this for a little bit until I find something else in marketing and the business side of things. Or it's like, hey, I kind of dig what this is all about.
So I went into it wanting to be a sales guy. And I told my boss, and I told my boss's boss, and anybody I could talk to was like, hey, look, this is my goal. This is what I want to do. I want to be an oil field sales guy. I need to get that bass boat and them golf clubs, which I still have never had a bass boat. Anyway, I kind of have a bass boat.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but man, no, I just, and just kind of worked my way up, did MWD for, a couple years, and just kept pushing and talking to the sales manager and talking to the sales guys, like, what do I got to do, man? What do I got to do? And I finally got my opportunity for straight hole mud motor sales down the Barnett Shell.
Okay.
So, but man, that was great. That's when the Barnett was just, running and gunning. I think it was like 2004 to 2006. So we moved.
So the sales intrigued you because your buddies, the boat and the clubs and all that stuff. But also, I would assume that your ability to kind of have the gift of gab and bullshit with people like nonstop, and like have you always been this outgoing?
I would say not necessarily.
Okay.
Like probably junior year in high school is when I
hit your stride.
Really hit my stride.
Okay.
Yeah. So no, I've got buddies from college that are like, yeah, you're the only guy we know that went to college and settled down. So Anyways, kind of one of those deals.
So was sales everything that you expected it to be?
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I was so super blessed and fortunate, and I just like people. You know,
I do too.
I like making people laugh and smile,
Yeah.
and it's fun. It's fun. Like, who doesn't want to be around somebody that is
Tries
having
to
a good time?
brighten the mood up a little bit.
Absolutely.
Yes, I completely get it, man.
Absolutely. So, and that was my thing, man. I just worked harder than anybody. I would try to hit 8, 10, 12 rigs a day, and really just exploded the business there. And but we were down in Denton at the time. That's when my son was born. And, man, we were really just kind of wanting to get back to Oklahoma.
So your family was down in Denton with you?
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, I moved my wife down there.
Okay,
yeah. So it was crazy. Like, when we started, we lived in Denton. All the rigs were up north, and then gradually all the rigs moved south. So I had to drive through, like, Fort Worth every single day. And, man, it just got to where I just missed home, and so I got an opportunity to go back as a coordinator, which was one of the better decisions I've ever made.
Okay.
It was so bad. So when, like, I think I told you before, I had like one of 12 MWD hands when I was running MWD. And then when I come back as a coordinator, we have 63 simultaneous jobs running. So as a coordinator, you're taking calls nights and weekends. And
it's kind of baptism by fire right there.
Oh, dude. But that's how you learn, right?
Yeah.
Like, you got to make mistakes, learn lessons. And, dude, you're just learning so much while you're doing that. But at the same time, you just, like, your phone literally would not stop ringing for you to walk to the truck. Like, I remember a time we were dealing with a big deal with one of our best customers. And we had 9 other calls backed up. And you're just... I mean, it's nothing you can do. You're just pulling your hair out and doing the best you can, and you're just not sleeping. But it definitely built character. So, and then I just continued to, push for sales. I had all the relationships with a lot of the Devon guys and the Keogh guys just from, running the rigs down there, and was able to get into I guess what they would call city sales.
Yeah.
I was kind of in-house at Devon, and would sit in on all the morning meetings and just hit the challenges and head on as soon as something would happen. So, but that was I would say that was probably the better opportunity I had, was to actually sit in on those meetings with the customers. They're calling the rigs, they're doing their deal, and just being able to communicate. Hey, okay, so here's the root cause. This is going to be the corrective action, and you can deal with it real time.
So you're kind of getting a pretty great experience, kind of being behind the scenes.
Oh yeah.
And like kind of being at the table with the customers right there, and kind of hearing the real talk, if you will.
Yeah, and so I feel like that's kind of what helped me with sales. So, and then 2009 had a little bit of a downturn, and man, the timing was impeccable. We had my little girl. She was born. And then the day I get back, I took a week of vacation. The day I get back, I find out that I'm going back to the field. And it's like, crap. But so when I ran MWD the first time, I did like 136 days straight, just from rig to rig to rig, like spent our first Christmas, out at Neighbor's Rig 620, and all that.
In the oil field, buddy.
Oh, yeah. So, man, and it just seemed like the absolute worst thing that could have happened.
Okay.
I mean, you're just, punch in the gut. But, so I was going to try to make it work. And my wife, we had couple of little kids, brand newborn.
New parents, too.
New parents, yeah, trying to figure that deal out. So that's when I ended up, jumping over to, another company, and just took over sales from there. And those experience, I tried to take in to this other company of sitting in on morning meetings, being there, before the engineers would get there. And then gradually, it expanded to where they had the mud guys in there, the bit guys, and so it was that's how I really built those relationships.
So it was one of those things where I guess it didn't feel right. I mean, because we're always talking about, take a chance, just say yes, do the job and all that. But at the same time, I mean, that's a great point. If it doesn't feel right, I guess in your gut, then you need to follow that too as well. I mean, I would say don't be scared or anxious about new opportunities, but if it doesn't feel right in the gut, then it probably isn't right. Just like buying a home or something like that. If you walk into a place and it doesn't feel right to you, I guess instinctually, it's probably not the right place for you.
Oh, yeah. No, and we talk about stepping outside your comfort zone. You got to take risks, and it's like, dude, your book's just like, your life's just a book, man. You're just turning pages, and it's like, start the oil field. It's like, oh, crap, laid off. Like, oh, crap, had a kid. Oh, no, here we, and it's just funny how the decisions you make can really just direct the way your life
Even
is.
small decisions, yeah.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, so I was at that company. It was a little bit of a smaller company, and I was there for about 7 years, one of the managers retired, and I kind of got that regional manager position over the U.S. and Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily anything that I wanted to pursue, but at the same time, I had the ability to surround myself with just the best people possible.
Why didn't you not want to pursue that? It seems like a promotion that would be the natural.
Well, I don't know. Like, I mean, I felt like it was something I'd be really good at.
Yeah.
I felt like it was something that I could really help people with. But at the same time, I always kind of wanted to be like the sales guy. I didn't really want to be the operations manager. And of course, as soon as I hired on, I had to go and like shut down Pennsylvania and, let people go and do that.
And that's
whole deal.
not easy, man.
Oh, no.
That's not easy.
And I'm so sensitive anyways, man. Like I'm sitting there like crying with these people, like hugging them out,
I'm sure HR is like, can't show emotion.
Oh, yeah. No emotion, no emotion.
Tears, dry
like,
eyes.
Whatever, dude. Like my shirt, I had changed shirt. I was crying so much. But.
And there's a lot of times people get promoted from the, sales or whatever to like the sales manager. And once I feel like when that happens, the focus turns more on the reporting and the CRM and all that. And you kind of like lose that touch and lose those relationships with the customers that you built so far. And I think it's so crucial, like if you are promoted to that level, to still be in the trenches, still hang out with your friends and your customers and relationships that you built along the way.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And that was kind of my aha moment too of, I was always ingrained, like go to school, get good grades, climb the corporate ladder, and, and everything was great. And I felt like I was really making a difference in people's lives. It's like when you are a manager, you can really, touch people's lives. I mean, I had a lady that had some grandkids and, so like that was her life. And it's like, hey, I don't care when you get your work done. Like you're sending out things at midnight. Like, hey, that's great. Go spend time with your grandkids. And then you got other guys that are like, man, I just got to make as much money as I can. I need as much overtime as possible. And it's like, dude, go for it, man. Like, so I did like that aspect where you could really help people. But there was some changes at that company, and that was, like I say, my aha moment where I can't really affect these people, to the extent that I want.
Okay.
Like, until you there's always going to be an owner.
Right.
I'll just say that. And so I got to the point where I just absolutely had to do something different and tried to get on with a smaller company, build something, be a part of something, which, was looking back one of the worst mistakes that I think I've probably made.
Well, why?
Well, it was not what it was sold to me as. You really think you're going to go in, be a part of something, and get an opportunity to like
build,
grow it and build.
Yeah.
But unless it's on paper, Anyway, so ended up in a frivolous lawsuit that's still kind of hanging out there.
That's fun.
That's still ongoing. And it's like I'm the most non-confrontational person
I'm
ever.
the same way, man.
Like, I've never been in a fist fight in my whole life.
I haven't either.
Oh, dude. See, and it's like I feel like I'm not a real man because I've never been punched in the
That
face.
whole
Like,
alpha
how are you?
man bullshit. But you know what though? It's like I feel like if I got in a fight, I'd be like I'd be like there's so much adrenaline. I'd be like an emotional fight. I feel like I'd cry after. Like,
oh yeah, I'm so sorry.
You called me a dork.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's
and
the
it's
adrenaline.
Like, yeah, it's like I always wanted to know how I would do. I feel like I'd do okay.
Yeah, I'm okay not knowing.
Yeah,
you know
I'm
what
okay
I mean?
not.
Yeah, I'm okay
There's
not knowing.
no winner.
I'd rather buy the person a drink and make friends with them versus be an idiot at my age, 40 years old.
Yeah, so it was a crazy deal, man.
We should get in a fight. We should get in a fight.
We should get in a fight. I'm only gonna do it if you put on a singlet.
I think I got one. Okay, I think I won the office.
There you go.
Okay, let's do this.
There you go. Yeah, it'll be a good time, man. We can live stream it and maybe raise some cash for, something.
Cash to keep noodling pure.
There you go.
Let's do that. Let's do the noodling foundation.
We could do that. But yeah, so it turned into a deal and just lots of stress and pressure. And well, then that company went out of business, and a lot of the stuff you're promised, doesn't come through, and there's nothing you can do about it. So that's when I kind of made the decision of, okay, so I've been with this super huge corporate company, went to a smaller company, went to a tiny company, and now I'm like, I need to find somebody that's got their own tools, their own equipment, their own, proprietary technology, but that is still small enough that you don't have to go through like sell a Germany to make a change. Right. You can still make adjustments on the fly, and so that's how I ended up at Cathedral now, and that's where I'm at. So it's been going good. So one of the coordinators over there when I very first started was a guy I used to build kit boxes with. So it's just a small oil field in a family. So
it really is a small oil field. I mean, it's funny. I've had people on here. It's like, oh yeah, this drilling manager. I mean, I was when I went to the rig, he was roughnecking. You know what I mean? Like, and it's funny to watch people's career progress, and I guess kind of where people go.
Yeah.
So that's why you should always treat people kindly.
It's crazy, dude. Don't ever step on any toes. I mean, I know you've heard that. Like,
it's true.
You know? But yeah, so it's been great, man. I'm just so super excited to be able to make the relationships I have. And you talk about the customers, and I feel like that's where you really make those connections. It's like, I love going above and beyond. Like, I've helped customers like build fence in their pasture. I've helped guys move girlfriends, or, we even went down to Garvin County and grabbed a bunch of old theater seats out of a movie theater and took them to a buddy's house. Like, I don't know, but I feel like that's kind of where
that's the relationship side.
That's
of
the
things,
relationship.
Though. I mean, that stuff. I mean, that's not a relationship that you can get in someone's office, over a cup of coffee.
Right.
That's the true relationships that I guess Chief was talking about a week ago. He's like, look, there's relationships and there's true relationships.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So my goal is to have that relationship with absolutely everybody I come across.
So it seems like you get charged up being around people. You get charged up being around your friends, your customers, your customers. You like meeting new people. You like going out. So being how was I guess COVID for you and the family in Oklahoma City when it's like you can't travel. You're not doing this. You're not doing that anymore.
Right.
How was that adjustment for you?
Yeah. So, well, I mean, we all had to make adjustments, and you're trying to figure out your deal, which you still have the people that you're so super close with that, but that's kind of where, and that's where these LinkedIn videos and some of that stuff came in. Like we talked a little bit earlier, I absolutely hate social media. Like, I feel like it's the biggest waste of time. Like, time is the most valuable thing we have. Like, don't waste any of it.
So why is social media a waste?
Well, it's not a waste.
No. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm peeling the onion.
Peeling the onion. Oh, I mean, it's just, I think it's more important to call, the old lady down the block, see if she needs you to rake her leaves, compared to just flipping through and seeing somebody's, smiling face with, hey, look how great our family is,
The comparisons that they've enjoyed.
Yeah.
Everything's always perfect.
Oh, everything's always perfect. So, but yeah, so I've never been a big social media guy. Like, I just got LinkedIn on, basically on the COVID. And so kind of the way some of the videos and some of that stuff started, I had a good friend I was working with there at Cathedral, and we had little jump drives. So this was actually before COVID.
Okay.
And you put a little video together, and you'd have like your technical data sheet, and kind of like, hey, if you got a question, and you could make a recommendation for their deal, but then it was just on a jump drive, and we just kind of hand it to people. And so as things progressed, we got a new boss over there at Cathedral, and he was kind of pushing more towards, hey, let's do more of these videos, man. Like, this is great. Let's get it out there. And so I was doing videos and kind of sending them to customers, and
right.
And I had a buddy, and he's like, dude, you got to put these on LinkedIn. He's like, if you don't do it, I'm going to do it. And I was like, oh, crap, man. Like, I don't know. And I was like, all right, well, here we go. So the first one I did was that haircut video. And, the rest is just kind of history. I feel like things like that just kind of accidentally, fall in your lap. Like, it's nothing that really intended to
fall in your lap. I mean, I think this, okay. So again, this is the power of social LinkedIn, for example. You and I have never met before. We've never sat across the table and shot the shit before. You know what I mean? Like, complete strangers. But the fact is, the videos that you make, and honestly, he's talking about a haircut video, and he's got a video when he's dealing with a tarantula, and he's roping goats. You name it. There's just critters everywhere on these videos, and but they're so memorable and they're so funny. It's like, what? And the best part about it too, it's like I don't know if this was planned or anything like that, but you make the people watch until the end, because it's like, what is this guy? What is in the guy's hand? And suddenly it's a squirrel around a tree. So I think it's so original. I mean, it doesn't really. You say it falls in your lap. It's a very humble way to say it, but I mean, it seems like it's like. There's two parts of it. Number one, I mean, you just got on LinkedIn, you know what I mean? And you think of LinkedIn, it's like, oh, it's so professional. It's kind of a suit and tie social media platform. You need to discuss business and work at all times. But the thing is, though, it's like you're bringing a certain level of you to it. You're being new things and just kind of new content.
Oh, yeah. And that's the thing. Like, just be who you are.
Yes.
So I'm at home, we're doing COVID, and it's like, this is all stuff just running around the yard. We found the snake on the back porch. Like, we had a bird that flew into the window that was a little dazed.
And you always tie it into a cathedral energy. I love that.
Yeah,
I love that.
So it's been great. It's been fun. I've been super blessed, super fortunate. I just like learning new things and trying new things, and it just kind of accidentally took off.
So tell me a story about how one of the videos was kind of if there's a funny story behind any of the videos, or if anything went pretty wrong during the filming.
Well, so again, I said I like learning new things, which included getting some cows. I don't mind investing in things that I can eat. So anyways, there's a lot of horrible, I don't know if you've ever worked cattle, but
I did for about an afternoon. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a cowboy. I'm a cowboy. I'm a rancher. I do ranchy things.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
No, I can tell by looking at you.
Thank you.
There you go. But yeah, so I don't know. Anytime you're working cows, things are going to go wrong. Nothing's ever going to work. So
wait, have you never worked? You didn't grow up raising cows or anything like that?
Absolutely not.
And this is just something you just...
We bought some. Yeah, we had the little property there. Sat on it for a while, and it's like, well, let's get some cows. So we started with 2, and so I'm not a real cowboy either, which is a whole other story. I'll have to tell you about that. But so we just started off with a couple cows, and it's like, let's just figure it out, And so we had a bull come in and, kind of did his deal, which is another learning moment for my daughter.
Yes. Like, I wasn't planning to have this conversation.
Oh, yeah. They're playing piggyback. What's he doing to her? Like one of those deals. So
I don't know. Call Cathedral Energy Services so this doesn't happen to you.
Oh, dude. I've got some good ones. Anyways, and not all the videos make LinkedIn either. So.
Oh, I can imagine.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, so we're just kind of doing this cowboy thing. We're just going to grow the herd. We're just going to do a little cow-calf operation. And dude, it was so funny. Like the first time we worked cattle, don't know anything. We're looking on YouTube. We are 100% professionals.
That's cowboy right there.
Oh yeah.
Going to YouTube to find out how to be a cowboy.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
So I get the whole family, and it's like, all right, we're going to work these cows, and we don't have a squeeze chute. And I'm like, we can just squeeze them in between these 2 panels. Like it'll work out.
Yeah.
What could go wrong? And the first cow does okay. Daisy did okay. And then we did our steer. His name was Poe. And then we come to Donut. And Donut is our problem cow.
Okay.
She's like, I saw what you did to those others. You ain't going to do it to me. And so I've got my son. He's like holding a rope tied to the panel. He's trying to squeeze her in there. My wife's trying to feed her the cow cake, like the cow candy. And I'm trying to do the shots. And dude, Donut is not having any of it. My little girl, she already walked off the job, man. She didn't turn in her 2 weeks or nothing.
She's out.
She threw her gloves over
Too
the
much.
pit. She's done. Oh, yeah. And so anyways, we're trying to figure it out. My son's trying to hold the rope, and I'm like, I just need a man, and yelling at him. And my wife's, upset. And she's like, give me the shots. I'll give him the shots. And I'm holding the rope, trying to keep it pinned in between these pins. And my wife literally takes it like you would stab somebody in a horror film. Shoves this needle in this cow's neck.
Like Pulp Fiction.
Yes, absolutely. Breaks the needle off in the cow's neck. And it's like, dude, my son, he's throwing his gloves over the fence. Wife's crying we're done.
And Donut's looking at you like, hey, this is exactly why I don't want to do this.
100% rodeo.
This is exactly why I don't want to do this. You guys don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, and then I'm trying to get the whole family together. It's like, I'm so sorry for everything I said. Bring it in, let's hug it out. My wife, she's like, man, I just need some time. I just need some time. So anyways, but yes, so videos with cows don't always go as planned.
So the cows. So what about have you been stung, bit?
Well, yeah, so that's the other one. So my wife and I, we don't really ever fight about anything. The biggest argument we ever have is where do you want to eat, but
I think that echoes throughout everyone's in America, yeah.
So I did the raccoon video, and one of our arguments was she really felt like I needed to get a rabies shot. And it's like, man, it's not like this raccoon was foaming at the mouth and jumped out of the tree and tried to bite me on the neck. It's like, I was literally trying to get this coon, but dude, it was a coon of the year, so he's a little smaller, and I don't know if you've ever had a puppy, how sharp their teeth are and stuff like that. Oh, dude, he was biting through my gloves like hot butter. Oh, man, he was not happy. So,
did you get the rabies shot?
I did not get the rabies shot. Now, if it's a skunk, that's a different deal. Skunks will kill you. You get rabies from skunks. I had a buddy that lost his grandma that got bit by a skunk.
What?
So, yes.
I would assume raccoons have more rabies per capita or whatever you want to call it.
But no, they're super clean animals. At least I tell myself that.
Yeah, especially after you get bit when your wife's telling you to get a rabies shot.
Yeah.
No, they're clean.
Yeah.
They're good.
Yeah.
They eat out of trash. They're good.
Yeah, but I like doing those first take fail videos. So whenever you drop this, I'll drop the
I would love
raccoon first take fail.
I highly recommend it. Anyone listening right now, if you got a minute, just go to his LinkedIn page, and it's solid gold.
Oh, dude.
But that's the thing, though. It's unique. unique. You're being yourself. And so the content that we've created here, that I've created here, it started during COVID too. And it started because of boredom. I mean, I did one where I kind of, I introduced the Around the Rotary team, and I dressed in, drag some lady at the front desk, and I did 2 other characters and all that. And you find that on YouTube. But it's just like, it's boredom. It's just like, you know what? It's not the old school oil field, like media content how it was before. Now it's just like, just do something to see if it works.
Oh, yeah. And you got to stay relevant, right? Like, you got to do something. You can't just sit at home and do nothing. And everybody's so down and so negative. And it's like, I just made the conscious decision, like, I am not going to be negative. I'm not going to be down. I'm going to keep the best attitude possible, do the best I can, and just try to make people laugh and smile.
There's enough of that negative attitude right now.
Dude.
It really is. And it's unfortunate. But, I mean, it's, again, I think part of that's the news and social media right there.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. So... But yeah, it's just been a ton of fun, man. Just kind of hanging out at the house and, catching critters.
You know what I like about that? Like, so I did a Roughneck Jerry video where I involved my daughter in it. You know what I mean? And she loves doing that stuff. She does, like, Dad, could we do a Roughneck Jerry video? Could we do, it's cool involving the family whenever you're doing stuff like this. You're like, hey, this is Daddy's work, so they get to see what because I never knew what my dad did. My dad was an accountant, I went to his office a couple times, but like now, like the family's involved, like my daughter's involved. She wants to be involved. Like she's like, I love bringing her to our lifestyle where it's like, she's kind of part of like the content and filming or whatever. And your daughter does the same for you too.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And, oh man, it's so awesome getting to spend that time. Like, COVID's absolutely horrible, but getting the ability to spend that time with your kids and, making these videos and doing things, like none of it would have ever happened, without it. And it's a good opportunity for my kids too. I'm always trying to tell them, like, you are not guaranteed anything. Like, your whole life can change in an instant. And like the COVID whole deal was like, that's a perfect example.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's how you learn, And
I mean, you think you have job security, you think this, you think that, but as we saw, everyone saw, I mean, that just wasn't the case. It doesn't matter if you're one of the best salesmen or the best engineers or best procurement or HR. It doesn't matter. I mean, it changed everything.
And you feel horrible about it too. I've kind of got this, I don't know, it's almost like survivor's remorse. Like, I was in a plane crash and I was the only person that survived, and you almost feel so guilty and bad about having a job right now. Like, I don't know if you experience that at all.
No, it wasn't so much that. I mean, it's not that, but if anything, it's like, so, CPC, we try to put people to work, you know what I mean? And like, if I had my choice, I would love to put everyone to work that reaches out. Everyone to work. But the thing is, though, it's just not there. And that to me kills me. It's like, I would love to help everyone out. You know what I mean? I didn't feel bad for having a job. I just felt like I didn't feel lucky. I just kind of felt like, okay, well, I'm one of the lucky ones. Like, I guess it was kind of luck, but like, it just going on LinkedIn for March until even March until like August or something. It was a disaster. It was heartbreaking. You know what I mean? After 32 years here, 12 years here, 7 years here, it was very kind of, it was a surreal thing to watch.
Yeah.
Your friends and family.
As a salesperson, man, and it's tough for me. I take it so personal. I feel like anytime somebody gets let go, like I could have done something. Like, if I could have just got, another rig here, if I could have worked a little harder on this deal and was able to close it. And so I think that's some of the things I struggle with. But in the whole big grand scheme of things, man, you just do the best you can.
Well, how do you shake that off? I mean, you're very positive. You got a good attitude, and I do like how the fact you have a positive mindset about things. But so how do you shrug that off? I guess those feelings.
You just got to let it go, man.
Let it go.
That's it. That's all you can do. I'm just trying not to worry about things that are beyond my control and just continue to do the best I can.
Right.
Keep my head down, put a smile on a face here or there. And I mean, I still try to help absolutely, anybody I can.
What's the attitude you're kind of getting right now from your group of thrusters right now? What's kind of the vibe you're getting? Is it positive, negative, pessimistic? What?
I feel like it's positive. But I don't know if it's a false positive.
Like a cautiously optimistic.
Yeah, I would say cautiously optimistic. I don't know. I feel like the industry has changed, and I know you talk about it all the time. I don't necessarily know that it'll go back. You've kind of got that generational gap. A bunch of the older folks are gone that, where handshakes mattered.
Yeah.
And there's just less handshakes. It's less, it's just... You've talked about it. It's just that feel. It is a different feel, and I don't know that the industry will go back to what it was.
But I don't mind it not going back to what it was because okay. We have to evolve as an industry. You know what I mean? I mean, we have to not just the way we do business or the way relationships either, but also the way we communicate about our industry to the people that aren't familiar with the oil and gas industry. We have to evolve with how we're telling our story.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. No,
And that's kind of the point of this podcast. It's like, there's some great people. There's so many great people in this industry that people like you don't, I guess, get behind that curtain a lot. You know what I mean? So that's kind of the point of this. It's like, and if some person that has no idea about the oil and gas industry or is anti-oil and gas industry, maybe they'll hear this and be like, oh, maybe they're kind of like me. Like they're a family, they care, they're friends, they're good people that care about the environment.
Yeah, and I do agree that we probably haven't done the best job telling our story.
But the thing is, though, we are a group of very smart, very caring, technical data people, right?
I agree.
Right? We are very factual data. Oh, this, 40% hydrocarbons. This is, 7%. That's not going to me, emotions and storytelling is going to, because if you think about it now, elections aren't won off of facts. They're won off of emotion. And nothing's won off of facts. You know what I mean? It's won off of emotion. So if we can portray our story and our narrative in a different way, let's try it out. Let's try it out and see what happens.
Yeah. I mean, you got nothing to lose.
No,
you just got to go for it, man.
Well, what else is on your mind today? What else is on your mind? You got your notes right there?
Yeah. No, I mean, it was just more notes about like
previous things that you don't want to slip up on.
No, just making memory, and just being who you are, and you can't help the way you feel, and just
Well, with the oil field changing right now, I mean, where do you kind of see it? Where do you see it? I guess going. I guess what is the new way to do business or the new way to sell?
Right. Well, technology's taken over too, and I mean, you talk to people that are wanting to de-man rigs and things, and I think that just kind of breaks my heart too, where some of the best people I've ever met in my entire life have helped me get to where I'm at today. And with some of the technology and the de-man and the rigs and some of that, it just makes me sad, almost like I'm cutting the throats of the individuals that I care the most about.
Yeah, and if it takes two people off the well site, then it's like, man, it's two people that had families and jobs.
But I get it. It's life. I mean, I've got a couple of customers that, they're over at Amazon now doing their deal, and it's like just people, I mean, different places. Yeah. And
are they enjoying that? Are they enjoying, so the people that that have left the industry, are they enjoying that? Or is there that draw to, that they want to come back?
I think that, I know one individual would, I need to be really careful what I say.
We don't have to do names.
Yeah. I think one guy would probably like to come back. I think that you would be amazed at how hardworking and honest the oil field community is compared to going to work at a place like Amazon.
Do you think that's a misconception that people have about the oil field, that we're all kind of just like...
Oh, yeah, and you've said it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've said it before, like the Black Gold TV show that come out and everybody's all...
Do you watch Bigfoot and Family on Netflix?
I have not seen Bigfoot and Family.
Okay, so I have a 4-minute clip. I wanted to post it, but Netflix took it down. It's pretty much like it is the most blatant, like, it's not even hidden. You know what I mean? Pretty much the CEO of this oil and gas company is saying, oh, like, we extract, clean oil. Like, no, we care about the environment. Once the cameras are off, he's like, haha, suckers. Like, oh, I just want to ruin this place and make the most profit ever. And so to me, I'm watching that with my daughter, and it's like, so in my mind, I'm thinking, it's like, okay, so now whenever someone from the oil and gas industry goes to a school or talks and all that stuff, what we do and ESG, did all that stuff, and leaves the room, they're probably gonna look at each other like, no, that's not true.
Right.
Oh, I saw this in a movie, like they're liars.
Yeah.
They're bad.
Yeah. Well, I will make sure not support it. I appreciate it.
Don't support it. Don't.
But no, it's just been so good to me and my family and, everybody I know. It just seems like that I don't know that I could ever leave.
It's kind of also, I mean, this industry is tough to love too. I mean, because some people that have been let go, they've been trying to find their next opportunity for so long, and they just keep beating on doors and either no one's picking up or they're saying no. And it's a lot of people that they want to come back in, they want to stay here, they want a new role here, but it's kind of disheartening for them.
Oh yeah, well, and I know other people that have left and say it's the best thing that ever happened to them too. So.
Yeah, I mean, I guess to each their own.
Oh yeah.
It's got to make sense for you and your family.
Oh, yeah. No, for sure.
So, okay, so you told me on the way, so you drove in here from Oklahoma recently,
yes, sir.
Correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, so not only did you come down you went to Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, Bernie.
Yesterday.
Wimberley to see our boy David Gibson.
Oh, dude. Gibson's my buddy.
I love
man.
Gibson.
Yeah.
What he's doing is just tremendous, and I'm seeing Keith on his stuff too.
Oh,
and
yeah.
he's just doing a great job,
Yeah.
and he's like you. He's always there to try to help people. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah.
I love that guy for those qualities. So you're making all these drives, and you told me before that you're a podcast listener. Like that's all you consume right now in the car, right?
Yeah. I feel like I like learning new things. Like that's my deal.
What kind of podcast is it? Like is it
Oh,
strictly
man.
oil and gas podcast? Is it
No.
business? Is it true crime? What?
Dude, I love critters. I love having a connection with my food. I listen to a ton of the meat eater guys. Like
Okay.
I probably listen to every single meat eater
What do
podcast.
they talk about?
Oh man, conservation. Hunting, fishing, like anything you could ever imagine.
Okay.
That is hunting, fishing, conservation related.
Okay.
So, but yeah, and that's kind of how we got into the cows and stuff too. Like, I really just enjoy having a connection with my food.
Okay, really?
So, in the hunting deal, like I don't really know how I got.
Are you a big hunter?
I love yes.
What
yes.
kind of hunting do you love?
So the coolest opportunities I've been able to get was a moose and a mountain goat. So I put myself in some situations up there where you just have no business being. You're walking on.
Where was this?
This is British Columbia.
Okay.
So yeah, one of my good friends, his father-in-law, actually had an outfit up there, and so we got the opportunity to run up there, kind of help clean up some camps, and when they had extra tags left over, they'd let us come up and get those. So
Have you ever gone hunting like that before?
not before that. So that's what's funny is like my dad, he has never killed a deer, but he had killed like a couple of elk, and I don't know how I got wrapped up into the big game thing, but it's like, what other experience can you have where you're sitting there and you are lusting after something so much that you just can't control your emotions? Like you can't calm down your heart and you're just, oh man, you're just breathing. You're about to just, pee all down your leg and you just can't, and it's just, it's that experience that it's unexplainable. And I don't know why it has that effect on me.
Okay.
But, so yes, I just love everything that's, nature related and critters and, all of that. But yeah, those meat eater guys, they do it. Do
you take your children out hunting with you?
Yeah. So my son, he is not it's kind of funny. He's killed a couple of deer. He killed his first deer when he was 8. Killed the biggest turkey I've ever seen in his life, which we will never see a tom that big ever again.
That's pretty challenging. Turkey hunt. I've never been turkey hunting. People that turkey hunt are fanatics about it, and the way they describe it sounds fascinating to me.
Yeah. It's,
like you have to outthink a turkey.
Yeah.
Which is, and that sounds pretty stupid. It was apparently pretty smart.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know. I think there's a lot of luck involved too.
Okay.
So, but yeah, no. So my son, and he finally told me he can't do any of the gutting or the gilling.
Okay.
And he said, Dad, if it comes down to me cleaning these deer, like I would rather not go hunting. So then I had to make the decision where it's like I would much rather spend the time with my son, and clean his deer than to force this onto him. But it's so funny. He gives me such a hard time. I've got a horrible gag reflex. Like every time, oh man, I've killed I've cleaned, probably, there's no telling how many deer. Every time it's like, but yeah, I get a little, oh man, it's so bad. Like I always have to,
It
find
stinks.
out. Oh
it
yeah.
Stinks. The thing is, it's not a smell. It's just that smell.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And it's with anything. I get a little trash juice on me. It's like I can do anything.
And then you feel it on your hand for like the next
yeah.
hour and a half, even if you wash it 8 times.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So no, it's funny. I was a little kid and we were big into seining ponds, and my buddy had a little cesspool, and man, like we were so committed to seining this thing. Like, let's see what kind of frogs are in there, And,
yeah.
Oh man, the whole time it's just, but man, it was so. Anyways, it was a fun experience.
Does your daughter go with you at all?
So she does not like loud noises.
Okay.
But she is the kid that is like, oh, let's cut up and let's see what it ate, and it's like, oh, this duck had corn, or whatever.
Oh, so she's like very
she's all in.
The doctor,
Yeah,
like, oh, let's take this apart and see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's one of those kids, but poking its eyeballs, but
yeah.
No, I just think the biggest thing is just having that connection with your food, and you talk to so many of these kids that live in different places, and it's like, well, where's your food come from? It's like, well, it comes from a plastic wrapper.
Right.
It's like, but that was kind of the deal with the cows is, being able to raise it and love it and care about it, and be able to harness that nourishment. It's
So with your cows, are you gonna end up slaughtering and
Yeah.
and then okay.
Yep. So we've got a couple of steers. Their names are Hans and Franz, And,
I like that.
Oh yeah, yeah. So they will be ready to go this fall.
And so one cow, I mean, how long would that, I guess, sustain a family in Oklahoma?
Right. So it's tough, right? Like you also have, I mean, because we put a lot of deer in the freezer and stuff like that too. So I don't know. I would say a normal family could probably do a cow a year, something like that.
God.
Depending on how much meat you eat. Like, my sister, she's a vegetarian, and yeah.
So you do the meat guys. What?
Right, the meat eater. I'll catch a few Joe Rogans here or there, which I am so glad that he is pushing everybody to move to Texas instead of Oklahoma.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Oklahoma's horrible. Nobody should ever live there ever. They should all come to Texas.
Are you just saying that so it doesn't get too crowded?
No,
the noodling thing,
no.
Too many people.
No, Texas is great though. I do love Texas. I think the thing I love about Oklahoma is kind of more of the public land and some things. There's some opportunities for people that don't necessarily have money. Like we don't all have, you like to think everybody's got the same opportunities in life, but that is absolutely not the case. So,
right, that's true.
But yeah, no, and one of my better favorite experiences was we did a little bit of foster care there for a bit, and so we got a little kiddo, and I was able to let him catch his first fish, and
you can't breeze that. How'd you and your family get involved in that?
Right. So you had mentioned on one of your podcasts about CASA and supporting that organization. So my wife, she did the
Nina Spencer,
the court appointed. So my wife did that a little bit. And we've always kind of had a soft spot for some things like that. And so we opened our house and had a little kiddo come stay with us. And
wow.
But yeah, it was, and I probably need to be careful about how much I say on all of that, but it was one of the better experiences that I've had. Yeah. So we were unable to follow it all the way through with my little girl. She was quite a bit younger at the time. But we.
But the fact y'all took that step and actually opened your home to someone that was a stranger that needs it, I think that speaks volumes right there.
No, and that's. I don't know. I just want to make a difference in everybody's life. Anybody you come across. But the mistake that we made, we were kind of filling out the paperwork, and we told my kids, it's like, hey, go, show them around. And anyways, there was some things that, he said or did that really affected my children, and my little girl could just never get over it.
Okay.
And so I think we'll do it again at some point in our lives.
Right, when it's the right time. When it's the right time,
And we've spent quite a bit of time in Haiti and doing some things over there. And
really?
There's a little orphanage over there. So it's just something that's...
So there's this whole new avenue about you, but you being involved and you helping out. So tell me about the charities that I guess that you and your family...
And we just do a lot through church.
Okay.
And we've even started a new little ministry there called SALT. It's a skills and life training. So if you're a 75-year-old woman and you've never caught a fish and you want to come, catch a fish, or if you want to go hunt morel mushrooms, we'll help you do some of that. Or so it's, I don't know. It's just finding a way to give back about some of your passions.
Are you constantly trying to give back through these charities and through the church?
Well, we're pretty active, and it's so funny because I've been like every denomination there ever was.
Okay.
Like, I was not necessarily the model, the model Christian role model or whatever, but no, I think that's the big thing is just trying to, love God with all your heart, your soul, your mind, and treat others the way you want to be treated.
Just be kind.
That's it, man. Being kind. So, but yeah, the Haiti deal, that really opened my eyes, man. Like, they were over there and they killed a chicken and cooked it for us, and you're sitting there and you want to give all your food to them anyways, but man, this kid, he like breaks open this chicken bone, and he's like sucking the marrow out, and I was like, dude, like, here, take my drumstick, man. Like, and so I think a lot of those experiences really changed and molded me to really want to.
Is it just you going down, or is it the whole family?
So my wife took my son to Panama. They did a little mission trip over there. Then I've been to Haiti like 3 different times.
Wow.
Yeah, it's experience. Like if anybody gets the opportunity to do it, and it's so weird. It's like you feel like you're going over there to, you feel like you're going to try to help these individuals, but ultimately it's you're the one that receives the benefit of the deal. And then I always say it's like some of the poorest people I've ever met are way happier
Amen to
any
that.
of the richest people that I've ever met.
I completely agree with that. I mean, it's just, I mean, I feel like the more stuff, the more material you have, the more, you check and, we talked about before, comparison's the thief of joy, I mean, if you constantly checking, like, oh, these people are, this family's perfect. There's no issues there. Oh, my life's worse and all that. You start getting that mindset, you know what I mean? The comparison mindset where you start comparing yourself to people and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And it's never there. And the thing is, though, is like, I'm not saying like, well, I mean, people in poverty don't have social, but I'm saying it's like, and again, I don't know, but I feel like they're just like, there's not all this commotion bullshit going around with them. You know what I mean? They are happier. I mean, there's studies too. Like, I mean, I think I saw something that was like this little small place in Louisiana, which was like didn't have one electricity pretty much, and it was rated one of the happiest communities out there.
Yeah, and it's like, so how do you measure success, right? Like,
how do you measure success?
Dude, putting a smile on a face. Like, that's it. Like, you walk outside at any time, the sun's still shining, the birds are still chirping, and dude, that's success.
Yeah. To me, it's not just kind of the impact and what you have with people, but it's also your home too. If your home's in strife, I mean, I can't perform as how I want to perform unless my home life is doing great.
Yeah. And it's just trying to push all that on my kids too. I want them to grow up to be good stewards of, everything that they've been given. And,
I can imagine the impact that has on your children, though.
They are special. They are special kids, and they're going to do great things. And they're just like you, me, or anybody else. They're going to be successful, absolutely, no matter what they do.
Can we talk about the cool truck?
Yeah, dude. So my kid, he got his driver's permit yesterday. We were able to find a 1989 Jeep Grand Wagoneer with the wood on the sides. It's got a little bit of a lift, and again, it's another deal.
That's such a cool first truck.
Oh yeah.
Oh
no, we lucked out. We're super fortunate, but it came at another friend's misfortune. He was let go in the oil field. A guy that kind of met through Facebook Marketplace. He worked for a service company, and
right.
But yeah, he did it upright, man. Like, I'm not a tinker guy. Like, how much is your time worth? And I'm not going to be hitting a carburetor with a hammer trying to figure things out. So
I've never been a Lego guy either.
Oh yeah,
growing up,
yeah.
I'm just not a tinkerer.
Oh yeah, but no, he did it right. He put in a 2000 Chevy, 534 Tech engine with the new transfer case and transmission, and so it's a perfect daily driver. And it's funny, one of my frustumers, which kind of gave us the idea to do something different. He has a O.J. Simpson Bronco as his daily driver. So he was kind of a bad influence in my life.
That's legit.
Oh, dude, it's awesome. It's so awesome.
That really is.
But he is a tinker guy. And it's fun things you can do with your kids. So we've, trying to take apart and fix the back window, or, little things we
But you get to have that experience with your son, though. I mean, that's something that, he'll probably do, too, to his children.
Oh, yeah. No, he's a super good dude, man. I'm so blessed and fortunate, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yep.
I like how you measure success, too. Your impact on others.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, you just got to stay positive, man. Do the best you can, and it's all going to work out or not. And if it doesn't, that's okay, too.
Exactly.
But, no, it's funny how life, you just kind of turn the pages, and it's like pages of a book, man. So my wife, she had a brain tumor at one time. We were able to get that removed. So it's like you got the... go back to the field as soon as you have your kids. You got the brain tumor. You got and you're just turning pages in a book.
That's
and you just keep the best attitude you can. So,
that's. I'm sorry, I'll get to you, but that's a great point. I mean, oftentimes, one little bad thing sticks with people, and that ruins their entire day. You know what I mean?
Oh,
you get a
yeah.
little piece of bad news, or you get something, an interaction didn't go the way you wanted to, and that just ruins your day.
Well, and it takes so much energy to hang on to that stuff. I've got a good friend of mine, and, he's at a family reunion, and his aunt is griping at his dad. This is like 70 years later about not getting to sleep on the top bunk. It's like, dude, you hung on to that for like 70 years from when you're kids. It's like, you got to let it go, man.
You're bringing this up now?
Yeah. Like, dude, how long can you actually hang on to that? So you just got to let that stuff go, man. That's why... windshields are so big and rearview mirrors are so small.
I love that. I love that idea. It's true, though. I mean, let it go. Don't let it be a burr and stick to you, and just kind of focus on the positive first. Or even if something negative happens, just address it. Like, okay, this happened. I'm not going to let it spoil the rest of my day.
Yeah. No, But that's it, man. So we're super excited. And I even told that guy I bought it off of, it's like, dude, as soon as we get it fixed up, we're having to redo some of the weather stripping and some of that stuff. But yeah, I'm like, dude, you're so welcome to borrow anytime.
That's so awesome.
Oh, yeah. No, so we're super blessed and fortunate. But, man, it's crazy, dude, dropping a kid off at high school. Like, that is weird. Didn't see that coming.
I know. It's like I'll drop my daughter off and she's going into like first grade. It's like, man, like she's growing up so fast.
Yeah.
The thing is, we're growing up fast too.
Oh yeah.
It's not like we're stuck in time.
No, and it's so funny. I know you've talked about Metallica on the podcast and some of that stuff. Like, so my little girl, she's been able to go to quite a few different little concerts. I think she's seen like Taylor Swift and who's the lady from Chakotah?
I have no idea.
Well, the American Idol lady.
Kelly Clarkson.
No, Kelly Clarkson. No, it's anyways, I can't think of her name. Everybody's gonna punch me in the face over that deal, but
that'll be your first fight.
It's like the most. Yeah, it'll be my first fight. Yeah, she's like the most famous Oklahoma singer ever, other than Garth Brooks.
Okay?
Carrie Underwood. Oh yeah, I'm so stupid.
Gosh.
So stupid.
She's a listener too.
Oh yeah, there you go. But yeah, so my daughter's been to all these wonderful concerts and stuff, and my son, he had never been to a concert, and he's like, I think this was probably a couple years ago, so he's probably like 13. And I was like, dude, you ever been to a concert? And he's like, oh, yeah. I was like, well, what concert you been to? And he said, well, you remember when we were down there at Chip and Joanna Gaines' place, and they had that guy on the guitar playing there for everybody? And I was like, oh, buddy.
That's live music.
Like,
That's live music, son.
Oh, buddy. So anyways, yeah. So I was able to get him to his first concert when Metallica did their tour.
Come on.
Yeah, so it was pretty funny.
What was that, 2018?
It was like
17?
a couple years ago.
Yeah, 2017. I went to them when they came. They sounded awesome.
Oh, dude, it was so great.
They were unbelievable.
Yeah. No, it was so good.
And then I saw Guns N' Roses probably about 2 months after that, and I'm like, Jesus, Axl. Like, gross. Axl, you look like a Karen right now.
Oh, yeah.
Horrible.
But it's so funny because my son, he's such like an Ed Sheeran guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
what do you think?
We actually left early.
How early?
At the very end. We made it through the whole thing.
Oh, that's fine then.
Oh yeah, he had a headache.
Keep the second encore because I don't. Here's the deal. I like going to shows like that, but I don't like getting in and out. You know what I mean? I just don't.
Oh yeah, dude, I get in such a bind with my family. Like even for the fireworks, like as soon as it's hit, it's like, dude, run, get to the car.
I actually try to miss the grand finale so I can get to the car early.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's because that to me just like negates everything. I'm like, I don't want to do this again.
But it's so funny. So like my little girl, we talked about how we're exactly the same, and dude, like her favorite song now is like Master of Puppets, you know. And I don't know. It's just so funny, man.
My every time I drop my daughter off, it was Painted Black by Rolling Stones. And now it's TNT by AC/DC.
There you go.
And then it's she loves AC/DC right now. You know, I'm trying to introduce her to like Black Sabbath. So now it's like, hey, who's singing? She's like, this is Dio for Black Sabbath. I'm like, that's right. Who's better? She's like, Ozzy. I'm like, that's right.
There you go.
That is right.
My little girl, she's wearing an AC/DC t-shirt to school the other day, so it's kind of funny.
I love it. I love how like they're catching the music that we grew up on.
Oh yeah.
It's not by choice. We're shoving it down their throats.
Well, you know. But I mean, there's so much, you know, and you talk about making content and things. It's like, how could our kids ever get caught up? Like, there's so many good movies that they can watch. Like, I mean, but it's so funny how bad some of them are too. Like, say, you know, The Great Outdoors. Like, you don't think about the language in it, or The Goonies, until you're watching it with your kids, and you're like, no, don't say that. Oh, no.
So we started watching Splash. Okay, and we thought that was a cute little mermaid movie, but I guess I haven't seen it in like 25 years. And the opening scene, this kid's dropping change and looking up girls' skirts. I was like, okay, we're good, we're enough. That's enough.
We're done.
And then there's a PG movie, and there's a Playboy in there. It's like what a time back in the 80s. Like you get away with anything back then.
Crazy. Yeah. But the Goonies that's one that'll surprise you on how many. The language they chose.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, PG, are you sure?
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, we grew up fine.
Oh, yeah. No, I think you can definitely tell the difference between the
new PGs versus the old PGs.
Well, yeah, and I was going to say the kids that got spanked versus the timeouters, you know, and they're coming back to haunt us.
Yes.
So,
yes.
But we all make decisions, man. Some are good, some are bad.
I like watching those old, like, you know, Princess Bride and showing her like, hey, you trust me, you're going to like this one. And she ends up loving it.
Oh, yeah. Atreyu on the
oh my God,
Never-Ending Story.
We just watched that scene with the horse in the mud.
Hey.
Oh my God.
Yeah. No, that's one that'll bring tears to you. That's another you got to change your shirt, man.
And you know what? I watched that recently. That main kid reading that book in that attic. He is such a wuss. Like I ain't like watching that. I was like, oh, I want to be him growing up. Like when I'm his age. Now I'm watching. I'm like, that dude's a wuss. Like,
Oh, dude.
he was such a like he was just like I'm like every mannerism he did. I'm like, dude, stop. Like,
Yeah,
stop.
he's the reason I don't read books.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
Because of you.
Because of you, man.
Because of you.
That's it. No, that's the other deal, man. I can't stand reading. And my wife, dude, she can.
Do you do
she will
audiobooks?
fly through 'em. I do audiobooks.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but it's like your eyes are like reading through the page, and you're like, and Miss Smith said, and it's like, Miss Smith, I had a teacher named Miss Smith, and blah blah blah, and you keep going, and you're all the way at the bottom of the page, and you're like, oh my gosh, all I thought about was third grade.
What type of books do you usually listen to?
Oh man, all the self-help,
Is it
like
self-help
Rich Dad,
books?
Poor Dad, just trying to, one of those things. I think we'd talked a little bit earlier that, I've got a good friend that works with his dad, and they've got their own little oil production company,
Yeah.
and they just get to spend every day together, rebuilding pump jacks and keeping things running. And so I think at some point, once my kids get to a specific age, I think it'd be fun to try to help them kind of start their own deal, or and maybe be a little part of it, maybe a little silent partner on the
Is that why
side.
you're reading these books?
Oh yeah, man, and then I can pass along all that wonderful knowledge about cash flowing and all
that sexy
rigs
talk.
to real estate and yeah. So I don't know. We'll see what happens, but
Do you do any pleasure reading?
no.
No?
No.
You kind of feel bad doing any pleasure reading these days. You're like, oh, I'm not stacking. I'm not being as productive as I should be.
Right.
That's also productive, too.
Oh yeah.
Chicken soup for the soul.
That's it, man. That's it. So, but yeah, man, that's about my life.
Well, I dig it, man. I'm glad you came in today and just opened up and kind of told us kind of your background and your story. And I love your attitude, man. I think your clips are great. And again, everyone, this is Bryson Varner, the accounts manager, technical sales at Cathedral Energy Services. And I highly recommend everyone to go check him out, hook up with him on LinkedIn, shoot him a note, say hello, and watch his videos because it's gold.
Dude, I appreciate it. And I brought you some stuff, brought you some deer jerky. I was really going to try to bring you some
What?
morel mushrooms. And, but man, they're just not popping off real quick.
Yeah,
so,
I don't think they're legal here yet. So wait,
the morel mushroom?
give me this. No. I'm joking around.
All right,
give me the story behind this deer because it seems
So-
like there's a story behind this.
Well, anytime you eat that, you need to think about my hairy legs. So
every time I eat something,
there you go.
Okay.
So my friends and I, we have this horrible bet. And it's like this deer camp deal. And anyways, it started off where it's like, dude, we got to do a deer management program. We got to start killing these does. And I was like, dude, I am a trophy hunter. Like, I'm not, whatever.
do that.
But I get it.
Yeah.
So we started this bet where the last person to kill a doe every year has to shave their legs. And I have been very fortunate that I have not had to shave my legs yet. So
think of your hairy legs.
that's it, man.
All right, I'll tell you what. If it ever gets to the point where you do have to shave your legs, that has to be a video.
There you go. We can do it. We can do it for
That's
sure.
that's the content.
That's the content
Moving
right there.
forward.
So, but yeah, and as soon as those morel mushrooms start popping, man,
We gotta get you back. We gotta get you back down here then.
There you go.
Absolutely.
We can do it. But no, man, I am so super grateful. Just can't thank you enough.
Well, I'm glad we connected, and you know how we did. Ryan Brogley connected us.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Did
he's
a
like,
little comment.
yeah, he's like, y'all need to hook up and all this stuff, and we just kind of shot you a note, and you gave me a call, and then the rest is history.
That's it, man. No, I
just figured it out.
just a funny little deal, man. Just like critters.
Well, thank you for the hairy leg deer jerky.
There you go,
And
man.
I think I'm gonna try some of this. And again, everyone, Bryson Varner, the accounts manager at Cathedral Energy Services, great guy, just great attitude. I enjoyed just you kind of diving in and telling us about kind of not only your professional story, but also the personal story and kind of what makes you tick and what your definition of success is. I really do appreciate that.
Absolutely, man. I hope you have a beautiful day, man. Thank you.
Man, I wish you the best, brother.
All right.
You have a safe trip back. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in, and talk to everyone soon.